This episode will be completely taken out of context. Welcome to the Fact Check This podcast.
All right, Fact Check This daily. And yes, I am drinking a beer at 9:45 in the morning. It is a snow day after all, and I have nowhere to go until Monday. So I'm probably going to drink several of these. And I actually have to be relatively quick about this today because here in about 45 minutes, Johnny Profita and I are going to be going live with today's Peddling Fiction. We're doing it a little early. He's got visitors and things going on this afternoon, so we're going to try to get today's episode of Peddling Fiction out of the way this morning. And as promised, I am going to talk about we'll read a couple articles about Elon Musk and what he's been up to. I think I talked about the President Musk oligarchy, all of that stuff, and how he's using his influence to or how he's using his platform and his billionaire status to influence American politics and be the power behind the throne, yada, 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 so on and so forth. All the things that the left is mad about, that they don't care when George Soros or Jeff Bezos or what's his name, Zuckerberg, do it when it's in favor of them. But when a billionaire starts doing it for the other side, then they're all kind of pissed off. So fuck them very much and their hypocrisy. Not that that's the thing. The left does not care about hypocrisy. They don't care. Like, you can't try to. It's like trying to call me a redneck. I don't care. I am a redneck. Fuck you. It doesn't matter. The left understands, yes, we're hypocrites. We have absolutely no values, morals, or principles. We don't care. That's who we are. It's like, see, trying to attack them with that it's a losing battle every time. Anyway, so Elon is both ruling the United States through oligarchy, and also he's using some of his influence to push people in certain directions across the pond. Let's start with Germany, since Germany is where it started. Elon Musk's opinion article leads a newspaper editor to resign. So Elon Musk wrote an article discussing German politics in German at that. Whether Grok did that for him or he actually speaks German, I don't know. But he penned a letter or an opinion piece, and it was published in a German newspaper. And it's got people all kinds of up in arms. Tech billionaire. See, I've only had like half of a beer, and I'm already starting to slur. This is going to be a good day. Tech billionaire Elon Musk's new opinion article in Germany's Welt am Sonntag led the newspaper's opinion editor to resign. Newsweek reached out to Musk's social media platform, X, formerly Twitter, via email for comment from the tech tycoon, and the Welt Group via email for comment on the editor's resignation Saturday afternoon. Why it matters. Musk, the owner of X and the CEO of car manufacturer Tesla and space tech company SpaceX, has cozied up to President-elect Donald Trump, especially after his November election win. Seemed like they were pretty cozy before, but whatever. Now, Musk has grown his influence abroad, appearing in a German newspaper to support the country's Alternative for Germany, AfD party. The AfD party is viewed by many as far-right, and according to Reuters, the party at the national level has been classified by Germany's domestic intelligence agency as a suspected extremism case starting in 2021. I mean, everybody that we don't like is an extremist. So here you go. Anybody that says anything that's nationalistic or, like traditional conservative right wing, that they're probably an extremist. Following the online publication of Musk's commentary on Saturday, which was written in German, Eva Marie Kogel, the editor of Welt am Sonntag opinion section, quickly resigned. I always enjoyed heading the opinion section of Welt and WAMS. Today, an article by Elon Musk appeared in Welt am Sonntag. I handed in my resignation yesterday after it went to print, Kogel wrote on X early Saturday morning. according to an English translation of the post in German. So amazing that all of these leftists who hate Elon Musk so much go and complain about it on X. That's like they know where the news is being found, so they know where to go. Welt am Sonntag published a statement by the newspaper's editor-in-chief designate Jan Philip Burgard underneath Musk's commentary. Musk's diagnosis is correct, but his therapeutic approach that only the AfD can save Germany is fatally false, he wrote. The tech tycoon's opinion piece follows a statement he wrote on X on December 20th. Only the AfD can save Germany. The AfD became the first party considered by many to be far right to come out victorious in a state election in Germany since the World War II when it won Brandenburg in September. While the majority of Germans see the party in a negative light, the AfD's 19% favorability rating in a Pew Research survey conducted from January 11th through March 20th is the highest recorded in the center's 8 years of conducting surveys on the topic. At the same time, other German parties have seen their popularity wane, with German Chancellor Olaf Scholz's Social Democrat Party popularity dropping from 67% in 2022 to 39% this year, according to the Pew Research poll that surveyed 1,008 German adults. And the interesting thing about this is Elon accurately explains that Germany is having a lot of the same problems that most of Europe is having, Sweden, France, Great Britain in particular, which we're going to get to. They have allowed themselves to be flooded with migrants and immigrants and refugees, and it has completely destroyed their culture. Not only that, but it's caused a massive wave of violence. And the reason that he says the AfD are the only ones who can fix it is because they are a deeply rooted nationalistic idealist party that wants law and order, and more or less it's it would be like a German MAGA to some extent. I don't know if there is such a thing, but that's sort of what it would be. And these types of movements are taking hold across Europe, in Sweden, in Germany, in Italy, like all over the place, because they are recognizing the problem, and they're also recognizing that the problem was caused by the Democrats, the Social Democrat Party in this case, or the leftists across the board. They're the ones who promoted and pushed all of this stuff. They're the reason that this is a problem. So people are starting to really turn away from them. It gets interesting from here, though. Burgard and Ulf Polschard, the incoming publisher of Welt am Sonntag, said in a statement to Reuters, democracy and journalism thrive on freedom of expression. This includes dealing with polarizing positions and classifying them journalistically. They added that the discussion surrounding Musk's opinion article was very revealing. Musk's piece had over 300 comments several hours after it was published. Scholz said at a news conference on December 20th in response to Musk's X post, "We have freedom of opinion. It also goes for multi-billionaires. But freedom of opinion also means that you can say things that aren't right and don't contain good political advice." Crazy how the media is always insanely left-wing. Like, doesn't matter where you go, they're always insanely left-wing. He added, "I say emphatically that the Democratic parties in Germany all see it different." Yes, we know the Democrat parties in Germany and in Sweden and in Italy and in Great Britain and in the United States and in Canada all see it very differently. And people are starting to realize that's the fucking problem. Weidel said in a December Weidel said in a December 20th X post that the AfD is indeed the one and only alternative for our country, our very last option. Sometimes that's what it takes. When everybody else is fucking failing, you got to go with your last option. She also shared several blurbs taken from Musk's opinion piece on X on Saturday, which have been translated from German to English. The AfD advocates a controlled immigration policy that gives priority to integration and the preservation of German culture and security. This is not about xenophobia, but about ensuring that Germany does not lose its identity in the pursuit of globalization. The AfD, even though it is described as right-wing extremism, It represents a political realism that resonates with many Germans who feel that their concerns are ignored by the establishment. It addresses current problems without the political correctness that often obscures the truth. The AfD has understood that economic freedom is not only desirable, but necessary. Their approach to reducing government overregulation, cutting taxes, and deregulating the market reflects the principles that have made Tesla and SpaceX successful. Musk reshared some of Weidel's posts on X. And again, this is like German MAGA. And also, I would be really skeptical of posts or of polls that only showed them at 19%. And granted, the polls that showed them at a 19% approval rating, at the same time, the current controlling party only had a 36% approval rating. The polls that showed them at 19% approval were done almost a year ago. Like, as crazy as it may sound, we're in a very different world today than what we were in a year ago. Things have shifted hard and fast over these last 12 months. So, and interesting stuff going on. So what happens next? German President Frank-Walter Steinmeier scheduled new elections for February 23rd, 7 months earlier than planned, after Scholz lost a confidence vote in the German parliament last week amid the country's worsening economic crisis. Similar thing is what's happening in Canada. Similar thing is what's happening in France. Similar thing is what's happening in the United Kingdom, Great Britain. You seeing a pattern, seeing something that's kind of dominoes falling. AfD is polling in second place after the German conservatives, Reuters reported earlier this month. But according to the Associated Press, Weidel will not realistically become chancellor, given that other parties refuse to work with the AfD. And see, that's where things could get really interesting. But that's for another time. But again, like I said, when you're looking at European politics are currently swinging very hard to the right because of the radicalization of all of this globalization and really putting literally everyone else on the planet ahead of the people in your own country. Sound kind of familiar? Sound like what the leftist party has done here in the United States, which resulted in a drastic swing hard away from them, losing ground in every single demographic in the country except for white women over the age of 65. Like, every demographic swung to the right. Literally every state swung to the right. I think there at one point Utah was like running even or moving to the left, and they may have ended up moving slightly to the left. I don't think they did, though. I'll have to double check my numbers on that. But California, New York, Illinois, and New Jersey all moved to the right. You're losing your bread and butter with those, right? Like wow. So anyway, moving on. After kicking the hornet's nest in Germany, Elon then got some shit stirred up in the United Kingdom as well. Musk looms large over UK politics as MPs return for 2025. Excuse me. The new year in politics starts with the bang of a billionaire with a bigger mouth than his bank balance. Again, this is from the BBC. So we get the leftist spin from Germany, and now we're getting BBC with the leftist spin. Like, why is it that all news is left wing? And people are like, oh, Fox, they're conservative. Fox, no, they're slightly left of center, but like, just because they're not as insane as MSNBC and CNN, Fox is not right wing. They're just not as left wing as all the rest. Like, there is no true right wing media, I don't think. Okay, the true right wing media gets their websites taken down and are labeled as extremist hate groups. So like that's what's true right wing media. Anyway, Elon Musk has been lobbing almost as many digital darts over the Atlantic as Luke Littler has the real things in the last couple of days. See, this is BBC being smart, or maybe Luke Littler and darts is a British thing, because that like fully went over my head. The world's richest man has been sounding off in the strongest possible terms about the Prime Minister for almost as long as Sir Keir Starmer has been in the Downing Street. In recent days, the focus has been on child sexual exploitation and Musk's allegation that the Prime Minister was complicit in the rape of Britain when he was Director of Public Prosecutions by failing to deal with the scandal. I'm told Sir Keir will not want to get into a food fight with Musk, but will make a robust defense of his time as chief prosecutor. He is also keen to emphasize the importance of political debate being grounded in verifiable facts, and that Musk is making claims that are blatantly untrue, as one source put it. Sources point, for instance, to those defending the Prime Minister's record as DPP, including another former senior prosecutor who took to X, the social media platform Musk owns, to say Sir Keir oversaw a record number of child abuse convictions. Those in government also point to the local inquiries there have been into the abuse and rape of vulnerable young girls by groups of men, mainly of Pakistani descent, and the national inquiry conducted by Professor Alexis J. Have you seen the statistics on the number of men in all of these different European countries of Muslim or Pakistani or in some cases Indian background descent? Okay, Middle Eastern men primarily who are in these countries. The statistics, like 1 in 64 have raped somebody. One in I think it was in Great Britain, it was like 1 in 32 have raped somebody. In maybe Germany or Sweden, it was 1 in 64. In another one of the countries, it was like 1 in 90, something like that. And then when you compare that to the to that same statistic, the number of sexual abusers and rapists for like white men, it's like 1 in 10,000 in these countries. And they have allowed it to happen. They won't prosecute them. Like that's the problem, is they won't prosecute them. They won't jail them. They won't deport them. They won't do anything because it's insensitive. They're here. They're refugees. They're here. They're here because they're not safe in their own country. Yeah, but they're making your country not fucking safe. Send them back to the unsafe country and let them fucking rape there. See how that works out for them. It will work out fine for them because that's part of their culture and it's encouraged. Anyway. The Conservatives, Reform, and Elon Musk have each expressed varying degrees of outrage in recent days that the government has said no to a public inquiry into the scandal. But few expected this weekend's twist, that within hours of the Reform leader Nigel Farage describing Musk as a hero who makes us look cool, the ex-owner said Reform needed a new leader as Farage doesn't have what it takes. It's not been the perfect day, said one Reform figure with a splash of understatement and a smile. We probably do look a bit silly. Farage's repeated statements distancing himself from the far-right activist Stephen Yaxley Lennon, who calls himself Tommy Robinson, appears to be at the heart of the spat. Reform hasn't seen this coming. Just weeks ago, they were talking up the prospect of a big money donation from Elon Musk, but are now trying to put the best spin on things. Nigel is not for sale, is how one senior party figure put it to me, saying this showed that the Reform leader was willing to stand up to anybody, including the richest man in the world. See, here's the problem, is the Reform Party in the UK is doing the same thing that conservatives and Republicans did here in the United States for a long time. They think they need to go along to get along. They think they need to just be nice. They think they need to play by the rules. They think you shouldn't say mean things. While the other side doesn't give a fuck. Hypocrisy be thy name is Democrat. They don't fucking care. You have to play the game by the rules that have been established for the game. And conservatives, and in the UK's case, the Reform Party, they think they need to be nice. They're worried about offending people, so they won't say true, objectively true things that would hurt people's feelings. To some extent, the right has embraced MAGA and Trump and being more brash and going after stuff like that. Europe, they're still a little too fucking friendly, and they're not ready for that just yet. And that's what Musk is trying to push. That's why he's saying that, the Reform Party leader isn't good. He's not saying he's not good because he's a bad politician. He's saying he's not good because he's not willing to do what's necessary to actually make change and to actually push the envelope. And that's how you have to play this game. Another said that if reform were to be treated as a serious political outfit, and remember, Nigel Farage has said he wants to win the next general election, that means robustly and consistently rejecting any association with Robinson, whatever the consequences. The one politician to attract some praise from Elon Musk, for now at least, is conservative leader Kimi Badenoch for her calls for a public inquiry into child sexual abuse. Badenoch sees the scandal as a case study in what she sees as our broken politics. For Badenoch, 2025 will be a crucial year as she fights to rebuild her party and fights for attention. Not easy when Nigel Farage is around. She got yet another taste of that over Christmas in a very public row with him over party membership numbers. Badenoch's suggested reforms claim on Boxing Day to have overtaken the Tories' membership numbers were fake, as their tally was automatically rising. Reform invited journalists to verify that this was not the case, and the Financial Times, among others, concluded there was strong evidence the party's tally was accurate. In the coming weeks, we can expect to hear from Badenoch about the so-called policy commissions she is setting up, and who will lead them. It will be worth keeping an eye, too, on the man she beat to the leadership, Robert Jenrick, who hasn't exactly gone quietly. He is her shadow Justice Secretary, but his willingness to carry on campaigning almost as if the leadership race was still on is irking some senior Tories who want him to stay in his lane on policy and not stray all over the place talking about whatever he likes. As for the Prime Minister, a bruising first 6 months into office and with noises off at the home and abroad, his big hope is delivery. He is foregoing the usual New Year big picture speech as his team feels he did just that with his big speech last month. Instead, he's focusing on a specific promise, getting hospital waiting lists down in England. He will do similar styles events and visits in the coming weeks on the government's other big promises. So here goes with politics in 2025. We're not even a week in, and it is proving lively already. He thinks that hospital waiting lists are the thing he needs to talk about, when everybody knows and everybody's pissed off about the fact that you've got Pakistani immigrants raping women and children left and right. It's the same as Kamala Harris running on a platform of, Donald Trump's going to get rid of Obamacare and then you won't have insurance. Nobody fucking cares. Nobody cares. There's so much bigger problems than Obamacare. Like, the left, or those who are more progressive in their nature and their thinking, are completely fucking brain dead and completely clueless as to the reality of the situation all across the planet. And Elon Musk is just using his platform to highlight that everywhere. And that is fucking awesome. I look forward to seeing more of it. Also, there were some, I think it was Musk and Maloney from Italy did like a photo op a while ago. It was pretty cool. There are some good ones out there. And of course, the good ones are viewed as radical extremists and all kinds of other dirty words. But they're also the ones who got elected because they're actually talking about fixing the problems instead of talking about dumb bullshit that nobody actually cares about. Maybe one of these days the left across the globe will figure it out. God, I hope not. I hope they wither and die. Well, I was a little late myself, but it's okay. Spud, listen to the replay. Everybody else, hope you have a great rest of your day. If you're not busy, here in about 20 minutes, over on Peddling Fiction on both YouTube and on Facebook, and also on Rumble, the Peddling Fiction podcast, me and Johnny will be going live. So if you got time, come check us out. see you there. Otherwise, I will be back on Monday. So have a good weekend, everybody. Later.